Right, we go to item 15, Boundary Commission Review. Councillor Woodward, would you like to present this report, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. It's quite a simple report, probably far simpler than the motion that we've just been talking about. The Boundary Commission Review is not really having very much of an impact at all on Fareham, certainly when one considers the original proposals that we were looking at, which were going to give us, I think it was 5 different members of Parliament representing the borough of Fareham. Unfortunately, things have changed quite significantly now, and there's essentially no loss of any element of Fareham constituency or indeed borough. So what we're looking at is simply gaining the element of Whiteley, which is about 40%, I think, of the residents of Whiteley, would be added to the constituency of Fareham, and the constituency of Gosport would remain unchanged. So that's all that is before us, and the recommendations, I think, are fairly simple, but I can't imagine that the Chief Executive Officer and I will be called upon to go and comment, because I don't see anything there to object to. I think the only interesting thing will be the future expansion of Whiteley, but I think whether that falls within the constituency of Fareham would really depend on whether the Whiteley ward of Manchester City Council, which as I say is currently that about 40% of the residents of Whiteley as it sits at the moment, whether that expands to cover the proposed 3,500 extra houses which are going to be added north of Whiteley, because at the moment that site actually sits mainly within Curdridge ward of Winchester, not Whiteley ward. So I guess that would be a conundrum for another day, but at the moment I think it makes very little difference, and I'm sure it will make eminent sense to those residents of Whiteley who share a Fareham address to be within the Fareham constituency.
Thank you very much. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Now, members, do you wish to agree or do you want to debate it? Councillor Price.
I wish to speak to it if I can.
Of course you can.
Thank you. I think that obviously, and I agree totally with the leader, is that the previous proposal was a mishmash, horrible, none of us wanted it. This is a solution to the problem. The only comment that I wish to make about it is this. Recently we have gone through a County Council review of boundaries. In that review, the Commission took into consideration not a they started with a datum point of the numbers in each area, and they then allowed and looked at a number of developments that are likely to take place at a point ahead. So they were looking ahead to what really could happen. But it seems strange to me that the Boundary Commission doesn't do this with the bigger one, which is the parliamentary seats. Now, if you take any of the parliamentary seats across the country, as far as that is concerned, is that there is development that is going to take place, known development that is going to take place within a very short period of time. And therefore, those numbers should come into the equation, in my opinion. And I think, and I do believe, that in writing to the Boundary Commission, we should say that besides accepting and agreeing totally with what they're proposing for Fareham, either asking the question, why don't they take and consider future developments, or say to them, you should be looking at a change of the legislation to actually allow you to do that. Because I think I'm correct in saying, I might be wrong, I'm starting to be corrected, is that Fareham is the 3rd biggest constituency within this area. And on that basis, is that it isn't going to take long to be way outside the percentage parameters which have been set by the government, which we should have. So I think the whole thing is being done differently, and I accept it's Act of Parliament, but I just don't think it is right that you should do your, we haven't had it done recently, but district councils, you take into consideration future development. Counties you do, why don't you with the bigger one? I know that we can't change that, but I think we need to make some comments about it.
Thank you, Councillor Price. Councillor Davis.
Yes, I think Councillor Price has answered his own question. The terms of reference to the Boundary Commission is to produce constituencies between 71,500 and 77,000 across the country, based on the electoral register of 2015. And that is their terms of reference, with the exception of the Isle of Wight and the Scottish Islands, who are treated as special cases. So there is, the terms of reference are as they are. I think where his concerns are is that I think in future boundary changes will take place more regularly in order to ensure equal sized constituencies. And there really is no reason why they have to coincide with local government areas, since an MP is doing a very different job from a local council. And it may well be that next time round, if Fareham is one of the largest ones, we'll find that part of Fareham is lost. So today's gain of Whiteley may be lost next time round. And I would have hoped that at least every 10 years, you need to change the boundaries to take account of the population changes that take place. And not just increases, but declines. So the inner cities, which historically, that's not quite so true now, but historically, the inner cities have had very, very small constituencies. I think there's a constituency in Manchester which had 35,000 people. And the Isle of Wight, of course, had 110,000 electors. So, yeah, there will need to be changes. So I'm not so concerned as he is about trying to change the terms of reference, because in 10 years' time, and I'm no longer here, it may be a different change.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Councillor Woodward, do you want to come back?
I think only in terms of summing up, as we seem to be debating it.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I think I totally agree with what Councillor Davis said. I think it makes perfect sense. But I think at the end of the day, it's just a numerical exercise. It's as simple as that. But I think really the leader made the points really that I think what's been suggested is better than what's suggested before. So I'm very happy with it. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Woodward.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I agree with the points Councillor Price made about certainly the county reorganisation. Of course, I think it's only his division and mine that have survived sensibly unscathed, and everything else across the borough is a bit of a mishmash, but that's not really for us to deal with. And Councillor Davis has answered perfectly his point about the growth in population and developments that will happen. I think we need to expect parliamentary boundary reviews are going to happen much more regularly than they have in the past, and that will take account of developments which have actually happened rather than those that we think are going to happen and may happen within a timescale. So I think on that basis, I think the recommendation as it stands is the correct one.
Thank you, Councillor Wood. Right, let's put this one to the vote. Recommendations on page 57. All those in favour, please show. Yes, unanimous. Thank you very much.